Welcome to the pitch. My name is Anthony Viscogliosi, and I'll be your moderator for tonight's program. As a reminder, our program is broadcast monthly and is scheduled for the second Thursday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. At each program, we will present two promising companies who will share their technology and business plan with our panel of experts, and of course, with you to judge the future of this opportunity. To begin with, it's my pleasure to introduce to you our esteemed panel. Let me please begin by introducing Audrey Beckman. Audrey is an independent business consultant with a long history in the medical device industry. Audrey's executive roles included 20 years in product development, along with 10 plus years in strategic initiatives and professional education at Zimmer and Zimmer Biomet. Audrey is our strategic advisor. Our next panel member is Michael Sherman. Mike brings more than 30 years of experience in the medical device industry, including 20 years in the orthopedic product development area and 9 years in venture capital. At what was Sophomore Danek is today Medtronic Spine, Mike received the recognition as being the largest single patent holder in Medtronic Spine, with more than 120 patents issued to his name. Mike is a leading innovator. And now may I introduce to you Dr. Scott Bruder, MD and PhD. Scott also brings more than 30 years experience, first as a clinician, secondly, as a scientist, and more recently, as a leader in product development, particularly in the areas of biotechnology, cell therapy, and diagnostics. Dr. Bruder is our clinician, scientist, and bio-developer panel member. And as for me, I've spent my career as an entrepreneur, as an executive, and as a financier in the neuromusculoskeletal industry. Today, I have the good fortune of operating with my two brothers, John and Mark, our family office that is dedicated to investing in our family capital and the capital of others in the neuromusculoskeletal industry. Together, my brothers and I have founded more than 35 businesses in this space. We've formed and operated more than 15 investment funds dedicated to investing precisely in this space. We've exited more than 18 companies exactly, generating more than 2.5 billion in exit value to our lenders, our partners, and ourselves. And importantly, those have resulted in a 3.5 times multiple on invested capital for ourselves and partners. And when we have done carve-outs, carving out a technology product line, we've generated 3.7 times MOIC. That's what we do. With that skill set that we present today, let us begin with our first company. It's my pleasure to introduce a company that's in the pain management space. Now, pain management, whether operative or post-operative, has become one of the most innovative and lucrative sectors in the neuromusculoskeletal healthcare market. Now, let me pose a question to you. Can a non-drug, non-interventional pain therapy effectively compete with the current standard of care? Well, to answer that question, our next company is BioElectronics, and they think that a new form of neuromodulation can do just that. Here is their pitch.
Quantum mechanics is considered the most successful scientific theory ever developed. Yet, until recently, it has played almost no role in the development of new therapeutic approaches. Our team has been leveraging recent discoveries from the quantum mechanics research community to understand how magnetic field technology can be utilized to alter cellular activity. This therapeutic approach can be applied to address multiple health conditions, including, but not limited to, pain management.
Our team's first success story was the Recovery RX, which first received FDA clearance as a Class II medical device for treating blepharoplasty, and more recently for general post-surgical pain. The current marketing plan is to sell into two different markets. The first, hospitals, where Recovery RX would be viewed as a standard of care item and treated as a reimbursable and or bundled product. The major benefits are reducing costs associated with post-surgical pain, complications such as callbacks to the doctor's office after discharge, reducing the need for pain medication, as well as long-term benefits of lowering the risk of significant post-surgical pain-related complications, a situation which occurs in about 15% of the 40 million surgeries performed annually in the United States. The second market is the private doctor's practices, where the practice purchases the device and then sells it to the patient, citing the benefits of reduced pain and medication, and also faster recovery time. Our second breakthrough was the over-the-counter FDA clearance for the ActiPatch medical device, which relieves musculoskeletal pain. We currently sell our devices to two companies in the sports recovery and rehab industry who private label them and market and distribute the product throughout US and Europe, retailing around $35. As a research and development focused firm, BioElectronics is currently developing its neuromodulation technology for neurological disorders beyond pain, while assisting independent pain researchers to expand the body of clinical evidence. BioElectronics' core capability is its deep understanding of how its magnetic technology can interact with biological systems via quantum mechanical effects, with the vision of developing innovative, non-invasive medical technology. To date, the firm has two FDA-cleared devices that are convenient, can be applied over clothing or bandages, low cost, long-lasting, introduce minimal risk of complications or side effects, and can be used to augment other therapies. The current orthopedic solutions can be used both prior to and post-surgery, and have been shown to significantly increase patient functionality as well as reducing medication use. Current challenges include obtaining a reimbursement code for the Recovery RX product and demonstrating the economic benefits for hospitals to incorporate the device as a standard of care to reduce pain-related complications and readmissions. In addition, the firm is looking to broaden clinical evidence, not only in pain management, but also new applications for its innovative technology. Given its unique status among electrical stimulation technologies, this technology is limitless for BioElectronics.
Wow. Thank you for that presentation, BioElectronics. That was very interesting. Now, presenting on behalf of BioElectronics is Kelly Whalen and Richard Stalen. Kelly and Richard, welcome to the pitch. Let's begin our questions first with Audrey. Audrey, you're up.
Thanks, Tony. Kelly and Richard, thank you so much for bringing this technology to us. I have to say, I was pretty fascinated when I started getting into it. And I think it's wonderful to have a non-pharmacological solution for pain management. It may today seem a little too good to be true, but I have no doubt that it will provide some relief to these wide-scale problems that we've got with opioids and other pharmacological agents. So I'm looking forward to hearing more. Thank you. So I'm curious, since you're selling today, both the ActiPatch and the Recovery RX, can you give us an idea of what volume you have sold today? How many patients have benefited from your technologies already?
I would say, well, for 2021, we'll have about 1.6 million in revenue. Typically, we're selling to an OEM partner. So for like KT Recovery Wave, they purchase just the device from us, direct, packaged, ready to go. And then our RecoverRx product has been a little slower on the uptake. So we're finding that the orthopedic surgeons want to see more clinical evidence than what we have. So we got our US FDA clearance off of breast surgery and cesarean section studies. And so when we're going to the orthopedic surgeons, they're asking to see the specific knee and hip studies, and that's what we're really working to get done now.
That's great. And can you tell us about where you are with those new clinical studies?
Yeah, maybe I should answer that one. We're working with a couple of KOLs who have done maybe 600 or 700 surgeries with a knee, and we're doing a retrospective study right now, which will be available in June, comparing 180 who used the device versus 180 who didn't, a 90-day study. The feeling of these people is that it has significant impact, and the patient has had much faster recovery time and less complications. If nothing else, they don't call the doctor up 2 days later and say they're in tremendous pain, but that is one study we're doing right now. We're doing another one that will occur with a physician in the University of California, San Diego, doing the true random controlled treatment sort of design. So we are trying to collect information on specific parts of the body, namely the hip, the knee. We're doing something in phantom pain also. We're doing other studies, but also the thumb out of Stanford. So we got these going, but we don't have the final results.
All right, great. And how about back pain? Will that be an area that you cover?
Well, back pain is more of a chronic pain, and that's really our recovery, not Recovery RX, but the ActiPatch. And we have done a couple back pain studies, but we have good results, but we don't have enough sample size to really report much about them.
All right, and maybe one last topic, IP protection. Can you tell us a little bit about how your ideas and products are protected?
Well, we have constant innovation. So we're always looking for how we can continue to have patent protection. Our current patents are coming to a close on the ActiPatch product. So one of the things we're working on is enhancing the Recovery RX product, possibly changing the signal strength, possibly changing the antenna size, and kind of getting another patentable piece to it, if you will. It's an engineering function.
Great, thank you.
Audrey, on that, just fill in a little. We have 3 or 4 parameters that we can mess around with. So we're really experimenting, changing the size of the antenna, the shape of the antenna, the battery strength, the frequency, and all of them affect the performance. And to be very honest, we have not, if you think of a matrix with all the different parameters we could change, we yet do not have the funds to do all that.
I imagine dialing it in to just the right spot for all these different conditions will be keep you busy for years to come.
Right.
Well, thank you very much, Audrey. And Kelly, Richard, in the late 1980s, there was a magnetic stimulation technology that entered clinical trials. And that technology was subsequently developed by a little business by the name of BioElectron, which was later sold in 1998 after the FDA approved its PMA for capacitive coupling to what was then Biomet. And today now is commercially distributed by Zimmer Biomet. Well, there's a lot of history in this field and a lot of opportunity in the future. Let's go next to Mike Sherman for your questions, Mike.
Thanks, Tony. So congratulations, Richard and Kelly. I have a couple of questions that'll probably help me and maybe the audience. So there are a number of electrical stimulation and magnetic induced electrical stimulation products in the orthopedic field. Can you put your technology into some perspective, how they relate, how they're different to some of the more common technologies like from Orthofix or others?
So our product is essentially like a spinal cord stimulation device, but it's external. So it's pulse shortwave therapy, and it's completely non-invasive, and it has no sensation to it. We get asked often if it's like a TENS, and the answer is no. So when you put our product on, there's no sensation at all to the patient. And it's pulsed electromagnetic fields or pulse shortwave therapy.
So following through on that, it's very low powered. And so you don't get immediate reaction. We normally find that patients who put it on, it takes about a day, sometimes up to 3 days. But it's battery operated. It operates 24/7. It's very easy to put on. The battery lasts for 30 days, 24 hours a day. So the pain, as Kelly said, you don't feel the device at all, which makes it great for clinical trials because you can have a placebo and they don't know the difference. The light goes on and that's it.
The video shows the product being applied to the site of the pain or the site of the injury or the site of whatever treatment was applied. But you also talked about, if we talk about back pain or you talked about phantom pain, can you apply this technology to any part of the body and have a similar effect, or does it need to be applied near the injury or the site of pain?
You've raised a very interesting question, one we're exploring now. So for instance, we're doing a study on dogs and arthritis pain. And instead of putting the device on the part of the body where the pain is, namely the hip, we're putting it on the neck, right near the spinal cord, so that, think of it as a collar, and we're finding that we're getting good results. So we think that it may be better to operate right near the spinal cord. When we did a neck study, we actually found out that the efficacy of the device was a function of the person's body weight. And the bigger they were, the less effective it was, indicating that, the closer we can get to the spinal cord, the bigger the effect. We're still exploring it. I mean, we probably know more about the technology than anybody else, but we're a staff of
8.
10. So,
Well, with consultants, we're 10, right?
Well, it sounds, sorry, please.
So anyway, it's a very interesting question and one which we hope to have other researchers explore.
Is there a field of research going on? Are there other people in this sector? I know there's people studying pain and implantable stimulators, but are there people looking into this space? Is it an active sector?
Yes. So we actually have an anesthesiologist who is out of UC San Diego. And we actually approached him on the phantom limb pain, looking at phantom limb pain. And then there's another professor there at UC San Diego who is doing research on overactive bladder. And what they're doing with that is they're actually putting an implant into the tibial nerve. And we think our device, you can put externally over the tibial nerve and get the same result. We don't have the money to fund that study. So UC San Diego, they're going to do our hip and knee and a post-surgical pain study using university funds for the pilot. And then the researcher there his intention is to do the pilot. The IRB is being written now. When he finishes that, he will go and look for a DoD grant to do a multi-site study. Again, it's going to be, just kind of more proof of efficacy to the clinicians because we already have the US FDA clearance.
Well, thank you. I think I've exceeded my time, Tony, so I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Mike. In orthopedic surgery, pulsed electromagnetic field therapy has been used for more than 2 decades in spine fusion. Dr. Bruder, you've had a great amount of experience in the biotechnology cell therapy areas that facilitate fusion and other forms of body healing. Can you share with BioElectronics some of your questions and thoughts about their technology?
Yeah, thank you, Tony. Really interesting. I had not come across this technology before. And so being a lifelong student, I did some homework. I went and looked at your 510Ks and your clinical data and the like. So congratulations. I have 2 or 3 questions. One, your clinical data, regardless of the indication, all went out for 4 weeks, and that was included in your 510K summary. Can you comment on whether or not you evaluated the reduction in pain beyond 4 weeks and you were unable to see an improvement in pain, or your studies only went out 4 weeks?
I'm actually going to let Rick take that because he did the work on the UK retrospective study. Rick?
We actually did a prospective study on pain over 6 months. So we found patients that had reported significant pain reduction after a week. And we then put them onto a study for 6 more months. We followed them for 6 more months. And basically the pain subsided entirely over this whole 6 months. Now, some of them stopped using the device because they didn't need it anymore, but the pain levels in general were in the 2 to 3 range, coming down from 7 to 8 or 10. So we don't cure the pain entirely, okay, but it's in the mild range. And some of them used it only as needed, and some stopped using it entirely, but at 6 months, their pain levels were in the 2 to 3 range.
So I'm going to pull that thread and put a finer point to that. Was that data submitted to the agency and not included in your labeling? Because your labeling only shows pain reduction for 4 weeks.
We did not put that in the FDA. Well, it's published. It's a published paper. I don't remember where. I was the lead author, but I don't even remember where. So
okay. Well, I would say, if you have that data, you might want to resubmit that if it's high quality data, and because a claim for 6 months is going to be much more powerful than a claim for 4 weeks. And as I think about NEOA and the onset of effect of viscosupplementation and that whole category of products that doesn't usually take its effect maximally until 4 to 6 weeks, you provide a window where you can have, as you say, immediate effect or effect at 7 days to reduce the pain during that window from 7 to 30 days, during which time then the viscosupplements come into play. So that's one line of question. The second is, I also saw in the evidence that there was a reduction in edema in surgical cases of blepharoplasty, which for the orthopedic community is basically it's usually a cosmetic procedure around the eyes. So it's able to reduce edema in that setting. Have you looked at any other surgical indications where you could reduce edema?
We would love to, is the answer on that. We would love to. It's not been something we've been able to fund.
Okay, and so that then ties to my last theme, or my second to last theme, depending on time, of questions, which is, how does this work? I'm a cell and molecular biologist, and I don't really understand. I couldn't find anything on it. I mean, what's the mechanism of action here?
We believe central sensitization. So we believe that by having these very quick pulses of electricity or magnetic field into the body, it confuses the nervous system in the way that it increases the threshold to pain. So as you know, when acute pain, the body reacts, the mind, the brain hears this, reacts, and we have lots of pain. If we can confuse the nervous system after the chronic pain, it's bad. One of the reasons we have pain with acute injuries is you want to stop people from using it. But as the pain turns more into chronic pain and there's really no damage going on, the brain is still reacting to the stimuli, and we're blocking that pain. Similar to the way a drug would block the pain, except we do it through magnetic field.
Well, I want to contest that for a moment.
Sure.
Because typically, a central acting drug is going to act in the central nervous system. But if you're using this at the foot, the ankle, the knee, the hip, it's acting locally. Now you may be stimulating pulsatile electronic signals from the peripheral nerve into the dorsal root ganglion, then up to the brain.
Yes.
Have you measured that? Have you documented that?
We have not.
That'd be a great study. I mean, I don't think that's all too hard to do if you have a few bucks, right? And that's probably what you want investors to dial in for.
And Scott, if you want to be involved in that study, we'd love to have you do it in that sense. We do not have the horsepower right now to do that, or dollar power.
Okay, Tony, do I have time for another question? Are you going to come around again? Okay,
Absolutely.
So you raised one of your challenges about reimbursement. If I heard that right, the end user sale is $35 per unit.
It depends on the market. So the KTT product is currently retailing at about $5. The KTT product is also has a battery life of 250 hours by design. That was what they wanted. So we built that product to their specification, and they're using our technology, and they're actually responsible for the branding, the marketing, and the retail sale of the product, getting it into the retail shelves. DonJoy's product is retailing at $39.99. Their product does last 720 hours. That's what they wanted. Our name is actually on that product. So it says DonJoy Advantage, and then it says powered by ActiPatch. Our goal for Recovery X is to get $50 from the patient level. I'm sorry, we know that the patients are being charged upwards of $200 by some practices, just because that's been shared with us. The price to the doctor's office is $50 a unit.
Yeah, so I have experience in obtaining reimbursement, like Tony and his experience for class 2, class 3 medical products that are by prescription only. Yours is checkmark for OTC. I'm no world indoor expert in that. Is there a clear pathway to get a reimbursement for an OTC product?
So we have two different clearances. So the OTC product is ActiPatch. That will remain OTC. The product that we're looking to get reimbursement on is the Recovery RX product. We're looking for that post-surgical application when somebody has a hip or knee replacement, or any other surgery too, but shoulder replacement, hips, knees, carpal tunnel, foot
As
surgery,
prescription,
ankle surgery, and
as a prescription for prescription use.
Correct. So
Right.
the clearances, I don't know if you saw on ActiPatch, one of the clearances for ActiPatch is plantar fasciitis as well, like direct plantar fasciitis. That's the specific indication of use. So one of our goals, as a company also, is to take that product and find a partner who makes already insoles, because we're not an insole expert, and get some kind of over-the-counter product out there as well for plantar fasciitis, because there really isn't anything else.
Well, I'd be delighted to talk to you about reimbursement strategy, and Tony may want to talk to you about reimbursement strategy offline as well.
Well, let me say this, Dr. Bruder, thank you very much for your questions. Mike and Audrey, yours too. To Kelly and to Rick, I'll say that you've been challenged by a strategic advisor, a leading innovator, a clinician and scientist, and done well with the answers. Thank you very much. But let's ask our audience. And so for that, let me introduce Robin Young and the polling. It is time to ask you, our audience, what do you think? Is this company a game changer? Will it challenge the standard of care? Or do they have a lot more work to do? Robin Young, publisher, of Orthopedics This Week will present our poll. Robin, over to you.
Thank you, Tony. Okay, very impressive. That was a very interesting discussion. I hope you and the audience enjoyed this. Let's post our poll. See if we can get that up. Excellent. So questions for you guys, and you have about, let's see, 30 seconds, I think, to answer. Is this a game changer? Could it challenge the standard of care? Is it promising, but more work is required? And let's see, you've got a few more seconds to go. Actually, about 20 seconds. Here we go. Very good. Well, this is really interesting. You know, I've often said the best presentations are the most authentic, and I thought that tonight BioElectronics just did a terrific job. Really, really fascinating. All right. That looks like we're ready. And yes, indeed, 42% thinks this is a winner and a future game changer. 21% think it could challenge the standard of care, and 23% said it's promising and needs more work. If we added up those numbers, we're at, let's see, it's about 86%. That's pretty darn good. Okay, and thank you, audience, for voting. That was really, really good. Please join us next month for the pitch, and register by going to ryortho.com and clicking on the pitch ad. Also, if you are attending the ODT conference in Memphis on April 26th, I hope to see some of you there. I'll be giving a talk on artificial intelligence in orthopedics and our increasingly digital future. I'm also going to be at the Castelvi Spine meeting in May. I hope you attend. It's always a fantastic meeting in Duck Key. And I'll be at the Spine Think Tank in Cabo in June. So I hope to be able to see some of you there. Have a good night, and I will see you in a month on the pitch.